Bada boom! Realest one in the goddamn room. How you doing? I am your host, Thabreakmaster, and this is Seasonal Talk. Obviously, if you already been here before, we know we talk about anime discussions, and all things anime. Here, discussion for today. You can see already in the title here. Do anime fans even appreciate older anime? So we're going to discuss that and how that ties into some of the stuff I saw on Twitter. So this is about to be fun. But of course, let us go ahead and get this thing going, baby. All right. As you see right now, this is going to be the first show. First show we're talking about is Trigun Stampede. Fortunate. Welcome in. I'm glad you're here. Right on time, right at the beginning. I appreciate you. But we're going to start talking about Trigun Stampede. I have to say this about this episode right now. I don't think this episode was bad, but I feel like we had way too much going on. And welcome in. How you doing? But I feel like we had way too much stuff going on with this episode that, I don't know. I appreciate, I guess, them trying to have so many different branches of storylines going and all of it kind of like spreading out at this point. But I feel like this episode was just a little bit cumbersome because of everything that was going on within it. We have a character that dies up in this episode, and I'm just like, dang, Roberto gone. Like, I like that guy, but god dang, it's a shame. It's a goddamn shame. Thumper, welcome in. Avatar, what's good? Quetzalcoatl. Exactly, Quetz. See, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that later. But like I said, we have Roberto dying in this episode, and I'm just like, dang, that's really sad. But it's interesting that I had this weird feeling about the show. Like, something was off about it, and I think I know what it was. It's about Meryl here, or just these two people here. Roberto and Meryl. It's like they're supposed to be reporters and everything like that, right? I haven't really ever seen them report back to whoever they work for in the first place in this entire show so far. It just seems kind of like it's important but not important at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, the connection between the two don't really seem to really connect that well. And I think that's part of what's kind of been bothering me, I guess, when it comes to their characterization and their characters in general. Not that I dislike them, but it's just like sometimes show and tell is necessary, you know, so, like, not just tell about it, but actually show it as well. You know what I mean? So, though, again, Roberto dying is still sad. It's still sad to see. I wish he didn't die the way he did, given how he died. It was just like, what the heck? Because, like, even then, once this person comes by, because this is this experimented kid, another kid that's been experimented on, pretty much has, like, the abilities of everyone here, of like how Vash and Nye are. So he has like some type of abilities like that as well. This scientist guy actually experimented pretty much on his own daughter. That's what this was like, whole thing was like coming into. This guy has no morals. He's just trying to quote unquote save the world by eliminating the need for flowers. So using humans to make it to where they can kind of do the same thing as flowers do in a way. That's what they're trying to do. So they were able to get this at a younger age, as opposed to trying to just get anyone, like how they had with Nicholas, because Nicholas has been experimented on, or his friend, or Vash's old buddy that he knew. Like, all these suckers, you know what I mean? That's why they're getting these kids in the first place, but they're getting even younger than that. So he's experimenting his own child just for this thing to actually happen the way it did. So that guy's a menace. That guy's a menace. And then we also have Nye in this episode as well, and Vash finally confronts him, and it looks like they're about to have a brawl here. I don't know what Vash is gonna do. It ain't looking too good because Nye is supposed to be like the ultimate being, the ultimate life form. So I don't know. I just feel like, again, see what I was talking about? There's a lot that was going on in this episode, and I feel like we could have kind of slowed down just a tad. There's a lot of information that happened here, and ultimately, it's not a bad episode, but I feel like I said, there's things to it. There's things to it, man. Not Nickelback. Overall, I give this episode like an 8 out of 10. It's a solid episode. Actually, no, I'll give it a 7.5. I give it a 7.5 because, like I said, there's things with Meryl and that whole situation here. She has like more resolve now after Roberto died because he's like going back. She's not running away. So, you know, she wants to help, but she's never really been able to do anything. She's just always in the way half the goddamn time. So like I said, there's things with this character I'm just like, I'm not sure about with this so far. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like a lot of this information was better received or more condensed, or it was different in the first one, first off. But like, I felt like how they kind of structured their characters in the first original did a little bit better than how they structured this here. But I'll get more into that as the show ends, and I'll do my whole breakdown of the series is what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, how y'all doing? Welcome in. Hope you guys are doing well. Let us go ahead and move on to the next anime, which is Nier Automata. Well, this is about to be interesting. What I can say about Nier Automata, overall, not a bad episode. This is probably their weakest episode yet, though. I have to admit, this is probably the weakest episode because a lot of it kind of just dealt with Pascal giving them like fetch quest missions. It felt like an actual game, basically. Like they just like, oh, we gotta go save this robot. Oh no, because the robot was trying to save his sister and this and that and the other. So they find the robot. Oh yes, and then the robot wants to get married because this other robot protected that robot, and so they wanted to get married and everything. All the while, 9S is like, get these suckers out of here. Why are they acting human? You ain't nothing, sucker. That's kind of what's going on here the entire time. Didn't want to trust Pascal at all. It's like, get this sucker out of here. I don't like it. And so, with all that said and done, another mission comes up. We have this unidentified android destroying all of the machine life forms. So, not 9S. 2B was like, you know what? Let's go see what's going on. And 9S is like, what is happening with you? Why you keep trying to help with the goddamn robot? Stop doing that, please. Like, you're being way too soft right now. You're being way too soft, right? You goddamn marshmallow. Squish. That's what's going on here. And so we see A2, I believe is her name. The robot that we actually saw from last week's episode. Because, the whole backstory that happened before. If you remember that backstory, yeah, this is her right here. They clash swords, 2B and A2. They clash swords. Her sword, A2 sword breaks. She leaves and bounces, and it's like, dang, that was like, the confrontation was super fast, super quick, and I was like, dang, kind of wanted to see a little bit more there, but it always asks the question, like, why did she defected in the first place? But then she also brings the question of, well, the higher-ups defected against me, actually. That's what happened. And so the thing is, 9S has been already kind of questioning the higher-ups and what they're doing. So this is only going to bring more suspicions upon that and see if they can even get more information on it. So obviously there's something going on up top. Obviously, we know that they're not really trying to like help in that kind of way, but it's just kind of odd. So there's a lot of foolery afoot at the moment. And they maybe at one point might defect as well and be on the same side with A2. We'll have to see what happens here. But like I said, this was not a bad episode. It was very long-winded, and it felt like a fetch quest type of mission. Like you were to play the game, that's kind of what this was. Again, not bad, but it wasn't as strong as any of the other episodes we've seen thus far, which is why I have to give this like a 7 out of 10. Not a bad episode, but it is the weakest out of the bunch here. So the game adaptation feels like a game. Interesting. Look, yes. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but sometimes, again, when you have fetch quest type missions where we kind of just, bounce between 2 different, 3, 4 different missions throughout the entire episode, it can feel a bit just like, are we really even getting anywhere? How important is this really? Because some of the stuff that was like the dialogue that was even there was more or less like stuff we've already kind of discussed before when it comes about the humanity, the understanding of the machine life forms and why they act the way they do, and if it even is right. Do they even have a heart? Because like Pascal saying, oh, it must be the heart that makes us act this way and everything. That's why we have love and this and that and the other. Whole lot of craziness going on here. But again, probably the weakest episode so far. 7 out of 10 when it comes to Nier Automata. But it's, again, not bad. Definitely not the one that won Anime of the Week, which is, I'm curious, what do you guys think won Anime of the Week? Because this week here was actually interesting. This week here was actually interesting on which one actually won here. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. I had to think about it real quick, but I was like, you know what? This one actually 100% won. Makes perfect sense. So I'm curious what you guys think won Anime of the Week here. If you can predict what I'm thinking in my brain. But let us move on to Buddy Daddy. All right, Buddy Daddy. Okay, so this show is just, it's good. The show's good. The show's good. We still have the underlying like threat that's there, right? Kiryu already knows about this. He knows he's gonna have to do something at this point because like these two suckers right here, they get way too comfortable with this goddamn little child Miri, right? And just having all kinds of conversations with Kiryu about it. And he's like, yo, Kiryu, you should actually come over here to the field day thing and so you can see Miri actually perform and all that. Because she's about to run track, baby. She's about to get the gold medal, baby. That's what's about to happen here. That's the whole episode. And it's just super freaking wholesome. It's so wholesome. Like, the heck is this? I like this. Kazuki was going ham as per usual, and is like obviously the mom in this relationship here, because he's talking to all the mamas, and they even know that the mamas be crushing on them and everything too, and telling them how sexy they are. You know what I'm saying? Like he got the information. You know, we know how they feel. So if they wanted to do something with that, they definitely could. All right, but we also have this man, black hair. I think this Ray. I can't remember his goddamn name at the moment. But whole point is with him, what made it very freaking like nice and wholesome is that he actually cheered for Miri. He got vocal. He finally did it. He was like, yeah, because he's like low energy all the time. But he's like, nah, she's doing it. She gotta win. Don't be tripping. But then she trips, and when the moment he screams, and it's like, dang. It's sad, but at the end of the day, they still had they had their moment. They had their moment. They both came together with Miri, and they got to the finish line for a different race, and it was a beautiful time. They got the gold medal. It was nice. But like I said, the underlying thing about this whole episode is at the end, we do see Kiryu looking at this these pictures, many pictures of them at this festival, at this field day thing here, and he's like, you got to do something about it. This is what is going on here. Can't have this happen. Can't have this happen. So like I said, I don't know what Kiryu's gonna do here. I don't know. He might actually have some type of care about Miri, right? He might care about the child a little bit. Maybe he might say something to them, but at the same time, I don't know if you want to go against this. Like, does he want to be part of that like part of this whole thing here? It's very concerning, honestly. But he has really turned out to be a hidden gem this season. 100%. I didn't expect the show to be this good, but this show is just great. I like the characters at this point. Even Miri, I know, again, she's the actual proper child, and I'm just shocked by this. I wasn't ready for this show to be as good as it is, but I'm glad it is, and I'm glad I'm watching it, and it's something that I do recommend people to watch. I just know it should maybe next episode should be that episode where things start to actually take a turn for the worse. Because like everybody's having these nice little smiles, having happy moments. I know it's not going to last for very much longer. So just look out for it. It's about to go down. I know this show can get dark, and it's going to get dark here real soon. You actually feel like a child, and then that means being annoying. Yeah, exactly, Avatar. That's what I was trying to say. Like, that's what turned me around. Because I got annoyed with her a lot in one episode, but I did not realize, wait a minute, she's acting like an actual child, though. Because, like, it's hard. It is very hard. At least from what I'm seeing from other animes, they struggle to actually convey an actual child, like what they actually do. You know what I mean? Some of them act way too old for their age. This one, no. She acts exactly like her age. It's very bad, but at the same time, very good, because that makes sense for what she got going on with herself. I don't like making those comparisons with like Spy Family, but like the daughter there doesn't really act, in my opinion, her age, especially considering how young she is. So I digress. This gets an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. It's a solid episode. I enjoyed it. It stays being good. I feel for this goddamn show, and I do recommend it. But let us continue on to the next show, which is Look Out! Look Out! You already know. It is a Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon. All right? This is what I'm talking about. Really not too much to say about this outside of, Ren. He's really trying to, like, that dude's going in. He's showing just how great how great Ren is. This dude's the GOAT. But Saga's also the GOAT. He's finding out he found a way. To not only read the field in the way that Ren does, but outplay Ren in this match, in this episode. I was like, bro, I don't know what he did there. Like, some of the physics. Look, the physics in this anime is not making sense on some of the stuff that was going on here, especially with Bachira. And I'm going to get to that in a second, but I don't know what that Bachira was doing. I I would have stole that ball a long time ago from the stuff he was doing. I was like, bro, you gotta stop. But that shot was amazing, and how he organized everything the way he did, and how he just keeps constantly evolving. This guy's the GOAT. Isagi's the GOAT. Boxer's looking at this and like, don't leave me behind. Don't leave me behind, my baby. I don't know what's going on. But see, the thing is, I expected him to kind of act this way, and expected him to even go the route he decided to go to. Whereas, like, he's trying to play for himself finally. He's letting go of the monster. He's not trying to just look for people to play with. He needs to be good on his own. He finally understood this in this episode here, which I have to admit, this is a little bit of a con in this episode. I feel it took way too long for Bakura to come to this conclusion. That is my honest God opinion on this. I feel like it took way too long for him to come to this conclusion, because what he does is impressive. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, he got blocked. Like, he didn't score. And I mean, if he did score, the game would have been over, obviously. But it's like, we have this dilemma here within this episode. They're supposed to try to get back Bakura, right? But like Chigiri was saying, no, not Chigiri, it was Nagi that said this. What Nagi said was like, I don't even know if we want to even get you anymore. We would want Ren on our team because that guy's a GOAT. Like, why would we worry about you at this point? And Isagi could feel the same way. Now, Nagi is saying Isagi feels the same way, but I don't know if he really does. I don't know what his thought process is when it comes to who he's going to decide to actually take. But if you really look at the field and how this whole game played out, Bakura didn't look good overall throughout this entire match. And he finally had his moment now, but it's like literally the end game. I wish he figured that out a little bit sooner so that maybe they can be more of a reason to grab him. But maybe that's the whole point here. Maybe they won't actually get Bakura, and maybe they might get somebody else. I just don't agree with actually getting Ren on the team if they actually do win this battle, because Ren is the type of guy. He's like Baro, but what's different about him is that Baro needs people. He needs somebody to kind of feed him the ball and understand, and he needs a team there. You know what I mean? Ren, on the other hand, is so freaking good that he can control the field. He is that guy. He is the ace. He is the dude that is the quarterback of the team. You need him to be the head guy. You can't have Isagi and Ren on the same team because they do very similar things. That's not a good dynamic for the group as a whole. So I wouldn't want to get him, but at the same time, you want the strongest people on your team. So that's why I'm wondering, like, what they're gonna do here, ultimately on who they're gonna decide to be on their team whenever they do win here, because the game should end by next episode here. But I don't know. I just wish Bakura did a bit more. Because if they do decide to get him, it's going to feel weird to even grab the guy because he was like the weakest link in the entire team. But still hype moments. Still weird, like I said again, about his like dribbling effects, because some of the stuff he was doing, he like put on his neck. He was all popping it back and forth. And I don't know how doing all that got past 3 suckers, but that happened in this episode. So it was just weird to me. It was just weird to me. Overall, this was a solid episode, though. I enjoyed it. I always enjoy Blue Lock. I give this also an 8 out of 10. Solid stuff. Blue Lock, keep doing what you're doing. But again, Bakura, I wish they just pull the trigger on you just a little bit sooner. Just a little bit. But that's just how I feel about it. How do you feel about this week's episode of Blue Lock? Please tell me in the comment section below. With that said, let us continue on to the other shows. Yes. And that is the other goats. The other goats. So people are hyping this one up for me a little bit here, and I see why. Vinland Saga, this week's episode. Woo! Still need to watch it? Come on, Desto. I need you to watch the show. But with this right here, Vinland Saga, though, good stuff. They did it again. Yeah, fortunate. Yes. Look, they did it again. This was really good. I'm upset, though. Like, not upset in a way like, oh, this show didn't, like, deliver. No, it delivered. I'm just upset with Canoe. Like, sucker. I understand your ambitions, but I don't understand why you did it as soon as you did. So this sucker here, like I was saying before, because we're seeing his backstory and how he does things nowadays. He's a dude that gets poisoned. He poisons everybody. He likes to poison everyone. It's always Mario Ghost of Tsushima when these samurais decided to go ninja style and to start killing suckers in the shadows. That's what Canute's pretty much doing to assert his power and get his reign going. And he's so dirty that he killed his older brother He's poisoned his own older brother. Went over there to go quote unquote check on him and everything. Like, oh, he's a good brother. Huh? Nah, sucker. He's the one that freaking did it. And he looks at this man's body and it's like, bro, like, I can't believe the type of person he actually has become, because he's actually as bad as their father. Like, that's what's so funny about this. Like, the way he's going right now, Askeladd didn't like that sucker. That's why he took his head off in the first place. And he's seeing that image. Actually, funny enough, is this man's insane. He's seeing that image, that floating head everywhere he goes now and talking to it. He has voices in his head. He's Randy Orton. It's just like, bro, yeah, he has some major freaking issues, and I'm just like, bro, what's going on with him? This is not the turn of events I was expecting for this character, but it's like he's going down the same path, and I don't know who's actually supposed to stop him here, because we don't have another Askeladd like that, because Thorfinn could be the guy, but Thorfinn's trying to get out of war. He doesn't want to fight. So my question actually becomes with this: what happens when Canute finds out where Thorfinn is, or Thorfinn runs into him? Like, how is this interaction gonna go? Because he's a completely different guy. He is not the same person that he was back then, like, at all. So I'm concerned even for what Thorfinn's trying to do. He's trying to have a good life. Like, it was a wholesome but sad moment when you see both these suckers here. They cut down the last tree and they were smiling, happy, being good. You know what I mean? But you know that's not gonna last. You know that's not gonna last. Like, the slave owner dude decided, hey, you guys can get out your contract even sooner and not be slaves. Like, just do this one little thing for me at this point after I go and run this errand, which that's death flags, by the way. It's like, when I come back, you guys can be free men, basically, right? That's death flags. That's like gonna die. He ain't gonna make it back. He ain't gonna make it back. So they ain't about to be free like that. But even if they are free, he offered them to stay on the farm if they want to, because they're not really even sure what they're gonna do when it comes to their life after they're freed here. You know what I mean? So he did offer that, and he said, instead of being a slave, just work here. You don't even have to do that. We love hardworking men like you guys, so why not just stay here? That guy's too good of a dude. But again, he probably gonna die. I don't see him surviving this whole situation, so I'm concerned. So that's why I was like, that's red flags right off the bat immediately. I feel like it was a better off for his brother as king, and Canute's selfishness is going to have a negative effect. Facts. And that's what I was about to get into. Same deaths, though. I agree with you 100% on that. I don't understand his play here. Like, you need strong allies. No matter what kind of kingdom you're trying to rule, you have to have trusted people by you. His brother was nothing but good to him. When he was trying to take over England, he came over and gave him freaking 100 fleet or something like that. Like, he gave him a lot to make that happen for him. It's like, it doesn't make sense why you would actually take away something that was detrimental, something that is helping you the entire time. He never got in the way. I understand his thought process. Yes, at some point, you can't have two kings. They're going to run into each other, and some turmoil is going to happen. But let that go down later down the line. You did this way too soon. You did this way too soon, in my honest opinion. And yes, he's going to take over Denmark at this point, the way this is going, because, like, he is trying to pass it off to him. Even though, was that true from what he said, or was he seeing something, or was he hearing things? I wasn't sure. The dude's literally insane, so I don't know what is actually true and what's not. Yeah. So it's just a goddamn shame. It's a goddamn shame. It's stupid for him to make that decision like that. That's not a masterful play, and this is what I'm saying. He's gone mad. He's like the Mad King of Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? He's losing himself for this crown, for this ambition. And he even talks to the floating head, and the floating head's telling him, like, you're doing the same thing. And he's all here laughing like, you know, I used to hate you back in the day, but now you and I could be good friends. I'm like, and then the girl tried to give her some food. There's this girl that knocked on the door. The door never got open, right? But she was like listening in. You can hear this man talk to himself. It's like, bro. He's literally insane right now, and just losing himself to this ambition, and he's gotta snap out of it. But I don't think there's anybody that can do that for him. I really don't think so. I don't even think Thorfinn can do that for him. They're not that kind of close, so I don't think that's gonna matter. So I don't know how this whole thing's gonna play out. The way this is getting set up, I have no idea what Thorfinn's goal or what what type of like role he's gonna play here as things go on. Because you already know that this Canute sucker right here is gonna start ravaging every area if he gets any more power. Like, you can't trust this man. So I just don't know what type of role ultimately he's got to play. Because I don't think he wants to go back to this fight. That's why he's throwing. Look at the picture right there. He's throwing away the knife. You don't want that no more. And one of the best things about this episode was you don't know what's reality and what's it was exactly right. I don't know what was real or what's not or what's fake here. It's very hard to tell given what's going on in his brain. I can't trust what he's seeing because like he heard, oh, you can have Denmark, but is that really true? What happened here? I mean, yeah, people reacted, but look, this man could be literally insane in this and just seeing all this. Like, I don't know. I have to see how this goes, but this is a great episode. This is a great episode. This is 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. I enjoyed this a lot. I say this isn't as good as the last one. Well, I think I give that one a 10 out of 10. Actually, that's true. And I'll give it 8.5. I want to give it. I kind of no. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. This is a great episode. Let's switch it up. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. This is what I'm talking about. This is why Vinland Saga is one of the GOATs in the first place. This is why you let it build, let it cook a little bit, like how the freaking cooking demon is, devil over in freaking Chainsaw Man. You let it cook, and you get this stuff. You get the goodness right here. You get the goodness right here. So, what do y'all rate this episode this week? What do y'all rate it? I'm curious. Oh yes, Canoe and his brother. Yeah, fortunate. Like I said, it's unfortunate, really. let me stop being terrible. Well, let's move on. I think to the last episode here, or last show, which is My Hero Academia. We're on the last one. I still haven't actually decided which one is anime of the week. Which one do you think won? I mean, I talked really highly about Vinland Saga, so but look, we'll see. 8.5. I probably wanted to give it a 9 because I'm like, it's not even that bad. Like, that was pretty good. Like, very solid episode, honestly. So it was hard for me to choose between 8.5 or 9, but interchangeable, really. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. You think Vinland win? We're gonna see. We're gonna see because this episode right here for My Hero Academia. Anna, mute yourself. Mute the stream. But didn't see week 10 thumbnail. I sent it before I went back. Oh no, I saw it. I got it. I put it up. Look at the thumbnail, my guy. I changed it a little bit though. I did change it with a different image, but I appreciate it. This episode, I'm shocked. I honestly wished I did a live reaction to this episode because what happened here, I did not see coming. I didn't know we're gonna do this. Is the thing here, because as we have all class 1A try to stop Deku, try to talk no jutsu him out of this whole situation and make him come back home and all that stuff. They're trying their best. They're saying every little thing that they possibly can. And he's still like, no, I can't let it happen. No, you guys are going to be in danger. No, you guys just ain't good enough. Like, just stop. He's just doing all this. He's feeling emotions though. He's feeling it. Freaking Bakugo. This is one of the most, this is 180 on his character. It's like for reference for some of this here, because let me just explain. This dude sat here, he actually apologized to Deku 100% about everything he did back then. Tell him to die, push him in the river, all that. He apologized. I was like, what the heck is this? I really didn't see that coming. My thing is, with the kind of character Bakugo is, what I thought he might do is like more self-reflecting, right? Like you already see that little slight changes and turns with him within trusting Deku and then also getting the information and working with Deku. And you can see him, he's really coming around as being a real friend for Deku. Even so, even before this whole thing, altercation happened, he was like, I know Deku the best. I know what's going on with him. I understand why he's doing what he's doing. So let me go there and I can talk him out of it. And I see he did. That apology was so shocking. You can literally see it on Deku's face. Deku literally broke down right there. He said, what? Because I said the same thing. I was like, what is going on here? His face was shocked. I was shocked. We're all shocked. Again, I was expecting more so along the lines of more of like a self-reflecting type of moment. How like Vegeta did. You know how Vegeta kind of accepted the terms that Goku is ultimately still better than him at all in everything, basically, in fighting and all that stuff. Like, at the Buu Saga, You know, that whole thing, the whole monologue he did, that was amazing. I thought he was gonna do something along those lines, but not straight up actually directly tell Deku, hey, I apologize. We shouldn't have let this happen like this, you know? We're gonna make this better. And even freaking picked them. I was like, I can't. That got me. That got me a lot. Round of applause. Just round of applause for that. This is an amazing character moment. An amazing character moment. And the lead up to it all was also just Chef's kiss. It was Chef freaking kiss. They led this up perfectly. I didn't see that coming. This man actually wrote a little bit. Because it's all led up to this. It all built. And I appreciate that a lot. So they did bring him back at the end of the day, right? And the people were like, no, get that man out of here. We don't trust him. They're trying to get him. Like, yeah, obviously the people themselves are like, no, don't bring him in here. But Deku wanted to run away, but then that's when Uraka's going to come by, and now she's going to start putting her little magic touch onto everything here. So that it pretty much ends at that point in time. But this is a really good episode. This is a really good episode. I felt that. Like, yeah, Bakugo came through 100% through this episode, and I was impressed by this. Just the way the writing was. Like, I just didn't expect this. I didn't know he gonna be cooking like that. That's why. My Hero Academia, season 6, it won this week. It just barely got over Vinland Saga, because Vinland Saga was about to win. But then I watched this episode, and I'm just like, okay. It got me. I feel for that, for the relationship. I love the fact that this like apology actually happened right in front of our eyes. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to writing good, solid characters like this, because these moments matter and they mean something when they actually do a full circle like this. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. That's why I had to give it this. And they said it barely went over Vinland Saga, but I had to do it. It's all right. I agree. Because Bakugo in of itself, that alone was what ultimately won me over. Because like that was a major freaking moment, and they just did that so freaking well. Like I said, the lead up to all of this and how it kind of built upon this connection, and seeing how Bakugo was changing as a character throughout the last couple of seasons. You can see where we were going with this, but I didn't think they're actually gonna pull the trigger like this. That's why I'm like, My Hero Academia, you did it. You got me. You won. All right. I fell for this. So this is like a 9 out of 10 episode. This is a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed this episode a lot. Good stuff, My Hero Academia. Let's keep this gravy train going. I don't know what they can do for next week's episode, if it's gonna have that same type of impact, but I'm looking forward to it. And with that said, I'm pretty sure that was the last of it, right? Yep, that's the last of it. That's the wrong button. Let us close this out. And let's actually get into the topic at hand, the conversation that we have here today. Because I ran into stuff on Twitter. Twitter has been a very interesting place for me as of late. They keep giving me these like hot takes, you know? They're giving me so much fuel and fire that it's easy to have a topic for a seasonal talk at this point, because they just won't stop with some of the dumb stuff I keep seeing on the goddamn online. It's like, come on. So what brought this conversation up when it comes to anime fans? Do they even appreciate older anime? Is I saw this tweet of iconic anime fights, basically, right? And you got to ask which one got to go out of the 4 that's there. So they had the Rock Lee versus Gaara fight. They had the Naruto versus Sasuke last battle, the last one, like the pretty much end of the series battle. They had that one in there. They had the Kakashi versus Obito battle, which is, you know, that's one of my favorite fights of all freaking time. And then they had the Naruto and Sasuke versus Shiki fight that was also in there. And I said on Twitter that if I had to choose out of all these, the Shiki fight more or less might have to get out of that. And I have my reasons for it, so I want to actually explain that first before we go deeper into this conversation. But I want to explain why I think that fight for Shiki isn't as iconic to the other 3 fights that we see here, obviously. His internet, everything is dumb on the internet. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But it's just like, bro, every time, like, I can't avoid this stuff at this point. The For You tab is OP. All right? Mike, what's up? All right, boy. Look, we gonna discuss. This season's been a mixed bag, but episodes like this remind us how good My Hero can be. Exactly, Desto. 100%. It showcased just how good My Hero Academia can actually be if we can get stuff like this. I felt that. Oh yeah, Boruto, I heard that 79 thing. Wait, what are you talking about? Because I'm not caught up with Boruto. I don't know a lot what's going on. I know he has like some type of new form, or I don't know. I don't really pay attention to like that because I don't really care for Boruto. I tried to get into it back then. I tried to. Don't get me wrong. I watched up to 50 episodes. I read the manga when it first came out. It just wasn't good. So I know it got better later on, but after 50 episodes, I think I did enough. Okay, I'll go back to watch some scenes or some fights, but it's like the show takes way too long to get into. But it makes sense given that there's a lot of, there's character moments in there, but it's still technically filler because it's not in the manga, right? But we have to actually ask that question of what is filler and what is canon at this point too. So it's a whole different conversation than we have at another time, all right? Only fight I know is Garou and Rock Lee fight. What do you mean? Well, you don't know the Kakashi Obito fight, or you didn't even bother to like watch the last actual Naruto versus Sasuke fight? I'm surprised by that. I'm here for the hot take. All right. Hey, welcome, Miss Fear. You fast as heck. You came right on time. Okay. All right. Manga is actually way better than anime. Is it? Because I can agree with that to some degree because again, we're diverting a little bit, but like I didn't understand why Boruto decided to even have an anime to begin with. Again, I read this when it came out. So when Naruto ended, I saw Boruto come by and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll watch this. I read the little like one-shot thing they did. It was really good. I like Sarada. I like the characters, all right? Okay. We only had like, 3 or 4 chapters in? And then it said, hey, we're getting an anime. And I'm like, but how? What content? So yeah, obviously they gonna have some stuff in there that don't make no goddamn sense or just a lot of fluff at the end of the day. And I'm just like, this is not, I can't. I tried, but I can't, okay? It's padded with way too much filler and not the good kind either. There are some good moments there, don't get me wrong, but god dang. Unfortunately, I'm driving. Oh, it's all good, Spirit. It's all good. Hey, just listen in then. I'll be back to tell you how amazing and impactful the Shiki fight was compared to Lee and Gaara. I don't read Boruto, but in chapter 79, there is I think. Oh, so something going on then. All right then. Never watched Putin. So you never watched the Putin? Wow. I would say we need to watch that, but I don't know if I want to go back to that whole pain. They're talking about the fight between Naruto and Sasuke at the end of Naruto or Shippuden of Shippuden. The whole show. It's the last fight of the show. It's like, is it like that? It's that fight. I'm not talking about the valley at the end. I believe it's called, right. I'm not talking about that fight when they were in Naruto and they were kids. I'm talking about when they're grown up. So what I say, even though what Spirit was saying on Twitter did get me thinking, and it's funny because I might change my decision here later on what fight should be removed from that, because it is debatable. Actually, it's very interesting because it just crossed my mind when I started thinking about this. But I just don't think the Sheikah fight is really that iconic. Is my thing. It's recent, so therefore there's a recency bias towards it that happens, and of course they're gonna like, yeah, beautiful animation. Don't get me wrong, it's really good animation. And from what Spirit was telling me, yeah, I kind of get what we're doing with the whole callbacks, like the Windmill of Shadows, for instance. You know what I mean? Like that whole team up. It's nice to have that there, but I just don't think it's on the same iconic level and what kind of impact that Gaara versus Lee did. Like people are forgetting, or maybe they not forget, maybe they didn't forget. Again, I grew up watching Naruto, basically, at this point, right? I can say that much. I saw it on Tsunami. I watched that whole thing, and I've seen it unfold online. It was as popular as Linkin Park's music for AMVs. Like when they talk about fight scenes, Gaara versus Rock Lee was always one of the ones that got recommended most of the time. I'm just saying, like, it was very freaking popular, and it's one of those fight scenes that always gets still talked about, even to this day, to some degree, right? If we talk about good Naruto fights, that is one we always bring up. We always bring it up, no matter what. It happens at all times because that fight is amazing. And something that I feel like a lot of people are forgetting about this, too, about this particular fight, that the other fights have something that gives them the edge, that makes them more important. All the fights here have, like, main characters in them. Kakashi technically is the main character. He still gets development throughout the entire show, and he is the leader of Team 7. So he therefore is a main character, and he does get a lot of development within the series. I mean, he has to fight his own freaking friend, as you see, and that fight was amazing, right? We don't even discuss that because that one has everything. It has animation. It has a great backstory. It has a good lead up later on with the series, and the impactfulness to the series as a whole makes a lot of sense why that's there. Like, there's no debate that should be there on an iconic level, 100%. So what I'm trying to say when it comes to the Gar versus Rock Lee fight, that there is greater relevance. I won't say relevancy, but it's just it's greater, more iconic of a fight that people remember more than what the Shiki fight is. It's not like people don't remember or don't appreciate it. Because I'm not saying they don't appreciate it. All these fights are great. Don't get me wrong. But if I had to choose, that one just seems to me it doesn't have the same type of effect. It's not as important, especially when it comes to the series as a whole. The Gar vs. Rock Lee fight was actually very important to the detrimental of the series of Rock Lee's characterization and his character. That's the fight that made everybody like Rock Lee. It also showcased Gar's of durability and strength and what type of like person he is. Also, the fact that he is like the main antagonist of the Chunin exams. He got to fight that. Like, Rock Lee is so detrimental in the Chunin exams. Like, Neji is a guy he never got to defeat. And Naruto was also the one that fought him. Like, there's a lot of like parallels and connections to all this. So like that fight is interesting, and they're not even main characters, and it still got that much praise from it. So I'm just saying, the Shiki fight has really flashy animation. That's why people like it so much. 100%. I feel like a lot of it is part of recency bias. Like that, there is something there. I'm not saying that this thing isn't iconic. I just don't think it's on the same level as any of the other fights here on this list here. People kept spoiling it for me, so I never wanted anymore. Just told my brother to tell me when people did it. Wow, really? God dang it. Even Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park talk about that fight, and I've been that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think the problem, like, I think the disconnect that's here, because I'm an older anime fan, you know, so I've watched a lot of anime, and I've seen the discourse for years at this point, and how impactful certain things are, you know what I mean? So I do wonder if that is another reason why I do feel the way I feel, you know what I mean? Because if I was a much younger person or something and then watching Naruto at that time where it's fresh and new, I do wonder how my perspective would be, because this is part of my perspective is the thing here. I'm not even saying anybody's wrong necessarily on what they decide here. I only wanted to talk about it mostly because, like, I didn't like the way they were disrespecting just older anime. People were literally saying this on, like, I don't know, Spear, if you checked it out. I don't know if you checked it out, but if you see in the comment section, like, some people were just saying how much they hated it simply because animation wasn't looking that good in comparison to the other ones. It's like, okay, come on now. Context of what it means to our boys after the entire series of them fighting each other. It's not the fight itself. It's the history leading up to the fight that makes it iconic and important. No, 100%. I agree with that. I do agree with that. It's the same type of lead up that I'm talking about when it comes to the Chunin exam and how important that is for all the characterizations here. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I just don't think that it has the same type of effect ultimately, because it doesn't do anything for the series necessarily as a whole outside of just having a fight. You know what I mean? I think we just have different interpretations of what iconic is. People won't be talking about the most you can fight in 10 years. Like, talk about Lever. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think we have a different interpretation necessarily, unless, I mean, I'm just going based off what it is. Because at the end of the day, everything, like, these fights are iconic. I'm not saying any of them aren't. I'm just saying one is more iconic than the other. You know what I mean? We have to make a decision on which one has to go more so than anything. So there's always going to be discourse, obviously, on this. And like I said, there is a perspective difference that is happening here. And like I said, it depends on when you got into Naruto and everything like that, where your perspective might be different, is my thing. I've been hearing a lot of different discourse online with this too, where people don't even like Naruto like that when it comes to like how their animation is. Because when they did have pop-off moments, it always looked kind of wonky in a way. Because their animation kind of changes up a little bit. So people don't like that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So it's interesting. Whereas when I was watching, I thought it was freaking great. So it's interesting where this comes in. so long as you're not disrespecting the show, because that's the thing I was seeing online at the end of the day. As long as you're not disrespecting it, having a difference in opinion is not a problem here. You won't be obviously you can't bring up recency bias without recognizing your nostalgia bias. Yeah, I saw some really wild stuff in the thread. Oh yeah, I'm saying there's a lot of craziness. I try not to be biased with my nostalgia, because it's not. I don't try to do that, is my thing. Because if that was the case, then I would be like, oh, this fight's actually even greater than the Kakashi versus Obito fight. I'm not saying that. I'm not even disrespecting the show of the Shiki fight. I'm just doing an actual comparison as best I can here and saying that this fight has more meaning and it is stronger from what we've seen here, from at least from what I've experienced, from what I've seen, is my thing, right? So I just feel like we still talk about this even to this day. The fact that it's even on the list right now should actually give you an idea of what I mean. We still talk about this fight even now versus from what we've seen from the Shiki fight. Like, there's not a lot of people that do that same type of thing. But this also could be something along the lines of how the show is. People don't watch Boruto, so that could be also like the other thing. People probably just watch this scene. You know what I mean? So that could be also another thing that kind of plays with it. You see, this is going to be an anniversary special for Naruto, so we might actually see some of these fights reanimated. Yeah, I was hearing about that. Actually, which is interesting. I also heard, like, wasn't Minato supposed to be like getting a new series or something like that? Like, I heard that like it wants to like vote or something like that. That it was supposed to like win, but yeah, like I said, I don't know. There could be some nostalgia bias that's at play here, but I believe, at least from what I'm saying, just from everything that is here. So I'm not I don't really have recency bias like that. I would say, but I'm just trying to see my perspective on both ends. Cause I'm saying, like, I do see what you're saying, Spirit. Love hearing people's animation takes when they don't understand animation. People dump on the paint. Yeah, for being expensive freehand. I don't. Okay, come on now. But also dump on Chainsaw Man for being clean. Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, it's a weird dynamic of like what's going on with people. Like it's like, if it's, I always say this, Spirit. If it's not looking like Demon Slayer-esque type of animation, they don't want it, basically, right? If it's not looking like that, then god dang it, the anime's not that good. And it's just like, it's annoying. It's actually very freaking annoying. And I do blame Demon Slayer for this. I blame Unfathomable because they're too goated for their animation. I knew at some point they were gonna get an anime that was gonna pop off, because Unfathomable as a studio is unmatched. It is unmatched when it comes to their animation. So I expected at some point they're gonna get something that's gonna pop them off, and here we are. Because if you think about it, at least from what I'm seeing here, I believe, I need to maybe get some more actual information, but I do believe Demon Slayer is what kicked off a lot of these animes nowadays that have really good animation. Like, think about that. Like, all of a sudden, all these shows have movie quality animation now that we didn't have this before. We did not have this before like this, not in the same level. Like, this level of animation is actually ridiculous. And first off, I'm concerned about the goddamn animators, because god dang, like, this is a lot of freaking work that they're trying to get them to do. But it's just like, ever since Demon Slayer really popped off the way it did, it got the anime studios to step up on their animation game, which is cool, but yeah. Anime team, yeah, they literally can't win, bro. They literally can't win. I don't know what they're supposed to do here. I mean, the rotoscoping actually was pretty freaking good. I don't understand why there was a problem with Chainsaw Man's animation. I agree that there was something off a little bit, or off-putting, about the first episode of Chainsaw Man. I will admit that. But there's very few moments where the show's animation was like jarring. I felt like it fit within the series pretty darn well, and it did a really good job. Mappa did a really good job at the end of the day animating that. And I don't understand what the heck is going on here. You know, Naruto is in a very interesting place as a franchise. I agree with you on that too. It is at a very interesting place because it's a show that has ups and downs, right? So people find ways to always try to hate on it and everything. So it's like it's weird because, like, if, let's say, because you go back to Michael B. Jordan, right? Michael B. Jordan, she's like, oh, you need to watch Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, you know, all these older shows, right? But I feel like newer anime fans, or just people of the younger generation possibly, might not like, I've been noticing this as of late, at least on Twitter. Every time I see these takes and it's like an older anime, they just be trashing on it. And I'm just like, I don't know if this is on the younger generation or not, but it's just like, it just seems like it. But it's just like that's why I put it in the general terms of, do anime fans even appreciate just a standard anime show, like a show that has standard animation? Like, are we just at a point where we're so spoiled that if it don't look like Unfoundable, we just gonna hate on everything that comes out then? Because like I'm confused on what's happening at this point now. That's the thing here. Yeah, Unfoundable's just too freaking good, man. Trigger, I agree with you. Trigger has its own style animation, but it works really well for what they're trying to do and how they tell their stories as well. Which is why, again, for me, anime of the year last year was Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Like, that show got me to tear up, for instance. I cried. Okay, it got me. But it was able to have a masterclass of how you tell a story within 12 episodes. It's impressive how they did it and how they made you care about these characters. I like Trigger did their thing. I don't particularly like Trigger to that extent. It took me a minute to even like Gurren Lagann, for instance. It took me a minute to like Kill La Kill. Because I dropped both those series and picked them back up, and then I actually watched it, and I liked it at the end of the day. But I did drop them both, and then, it takes me a minute to actually get into their stuff. BNA is another one they did, and I did like that show overall. But Trigger something. They have their own style, and they have their own path, and I appreciate and respect that. Turtles usually was being talked about again for the best anime fight. Again, it's just, but see, that's the thing though. There's some stakes behind it, but it's not. A lot of Demon Slayer fights are very surface level. They're not that deep, right? But you don't need something super deep for it to be a good fight, because it's still a good fight. Don't get me wrong, but it's like the best anime fight though. Come on now. Friends with the younger anime fan, and he just doesn't like how long older animes take to. Yes, true. What was it? Ace, we were talking about this not that long ago. What show was it that you brought up? Oh, wait, it was Dragon Ball. Because it's kind of insane how if you were to watch Dragon Ball from way back when, right, or to now, if someone tries to get into it, because Dragon Ball takes a long time to really get into and to really hit their points. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of shows back then in general take their time building up their story. Nowadays, this is why we have shows like God of High School, Tower of God, shows with such fast pacing, because people's attention spans they're not attentive like that. They miss a lot of detail. Like, it's actually insane from what we're seeing here. Yeah, I kind of see his point. Wait, how so? Yeah, every episode in the comments on the anime sites, I always say how bad Blue Lock anime. Huh? Oh, what? Wait, hold on a minute. What are you talking about? Where? I didn't see this. Wait, bad? What? Okay. All right. Okay, suckers. This is what I'm talking about. Huh? Doesn't make any god. That animation's pretty good. What? It's not the best, but it's like. Okay. I can't. Wow. This is what I'm talking about. Like, what? There's still pretty respected anime out there with Sand Animation, Overlord, Jeremiah, Spirit. Might want to take Dress Up Darling out of that. Dress Up Darling got some freaking. That animation, that show kind of go to. What you mean? Like, like that thing is animated freaking beautifully. There's a lot of scenes. I mean, it's similar to their animation is similar to Mappa style, basically, where it's still clean, but then it elevates it to another level. Like, I don't know, that show's animation is I don't know about that thing looked great. Overlord's a good example though. Granted, I do wonder, because how popular is Overlord? Because I don't see a lot of people talking about this show like that. Like, it gets a lot of seasons, yes, but it's like, is that in the talking for anything? Because I don't see a lot of attention being thrown towards Overlord, because it's still going. So that's a question I have for you, actually, Spear. If you know anything. I watched the show up until like season 3, I believe. I need to watch the latest season because I missed it. I really need a Studio Trigger to do bro. Oh my god, that would actually be a good loving relationship right there. That would be a good loving relationship. That would work perfectly. with them how they would freaking animate the Turbo Granny, bro. It was Super Suction 9000. Like, look, I did because they're bootleg. Like Trigger can be bootleg with some of their animation. You know, I love the fact you brought that up. I need that now. I know Don Don is getting an anime. I just don't know who's doing it though. But I need that in my life. A lot of people who think Demon Slayer has the best animation. Again, that Fate Unlimited budget. Exact. Well, I mean, again, it's unfathomable though, man. Look, bro, it's unfathomable. That's the thing. Like, unfathomable is like literally the GOAT. They are the best anime studio right now as we speak. And I've been saying this ever since Fate Stay Night. You know, I've been saying this. Unlimited Blade Works. Okay, like look, they killed it. Overlord is immensely popular in Japan, not so much. Okay, that's what it is. Because I know it is popular, but I don't see it really popular over here like that, you know? So that makes sense then. That makes sense. It keeps going. But this is what I mean. It's just like there's not a lot of conversations with that show. But that's the thing. Like when it comes to the Japanese fan base, their takes, I guess, maybe on anime in general is a lot different from ours. I think they can appreciate a show that doesn't have crazy animation at all times, though. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. Because, like, for us, I don't know. I think we're spoiled. We only watch the GOAT animes. I always implore everybody, if you are into anime, don't just listen to the recommendations of people. Watch something that's not good. There is bad anime out there. I want people to actually explore and see what else is out there, because you'll start appreciating the stuff that actually does come out good. Because how can you tell if something is good or bad if you never see the bad? You know what I mean? Because then at that point, if you're seeing nothing but good, that good will become bad if you see something better. You know what I mean? Like it's that perspective that happens. So I always implore people to watch like a show like Arcana Familia at this point. Then I say maybe not to watch it, but at the same time, watch Arcana Familia, watch a Brave 10. And be disappointed in the show, you know what I mean? Because then it'll make you appreciate shows that are actually really good when it comes to their writing and their action. I'm just getting this Fate, and yeah, the animation goes hard, 100% Avatar. It stays like that. It stays like that. Like it just stays looking great at all times. They should take note from X-Arm. Another great example, Quets. Funny enough, X-Arm's another anime that if you want to see bad anime, watch that real quick. You'll start appreciating a Demon Slayer. You'll appreciate a Chainsaw Man. You know what I mean? You'll appreciate the blue locks of what we got here. You know, like come on now. All right, I gotta go have a great stream. All right, Spirit, thank you for dropping by and thank you for dropping your perspective in here. Because like I said, you're not wrong what you're saying. Because at the end of the day, we all have our own preferences at the end of the day that happens here. But I just wanted to make my argument and showcase again why we shouldn't be hating on the older thing here. Because it did a lot. It's still iconic to this day. Later, man. Oh, well, you know about Brave 10? I'm done. See, he knows. All right. Co-works, Dispatch Family, Promise Neverland, and Wonder Egg all have clean but somewhat standard. Facts. And, I mean, those shows did pop off to a certain degree. Because, I mean, Spy Family does have really good animation. I can't lie. And I did see some of Wonder Egg. And Wonder Egg, specifically with that one character with the dual eyes. I never watched the show, but I don't know her name. But like they did a good job. Like Horror, it's weird. Like they do good when it comes to their like animation, but sometimes how they adapt things is not that good. Between Wonder Egg and Promise Neverland season 2, that could tell you just enough right there that you don't know if you want to trust these suckers with your anime or with your manga. You know, like they don't want to be adapting things correctly. America is definitely spoiled because officially the anime most people get are curated by Funimation and Netflix and various streaming sites who choose what to do. Facts. So if you're that is actually interesting because like if it is that they are just walking just dub anime, yeah, a lot of the dub anime are going to be shows that are very popular, right? Doesn't always mean they're good, but they're very popular. So, but a lot of the times they have a decent standing. Like you're not gonna have a bad time necessarily with these shows that they decide to dub. I would have to say because you know again they ain't gonna dub. I don't think they've ever dubbed Brave 10 or kind of familiar or X. Did they ever dub X-Arm? Wasn't that on Crunchyroll at some point? But you know what I mean? Like like they're not gonna dub bad anime because yeah, like for you to see bad anime, you have to go out of your way to go and check that out. Between recommendations from your friends and other people, you're like, it's gonna be interesting because you'll never really run into stuff like that. Is my thing. I know it would be a shame if the only good anime are the ones with crazy animation. And that's the thing. I make the argument that not all these shows with great animation are good. Like we gotta calm down a little bit. It's like, I know it looks pretty, but don't be blinded by the lights. Like, come on, guys. I will say this to the day I die. Freaking God of High School is a trash anime. I did not like that show. It made no sense how we go from some regular suckers to some gods in 12 episodes. Like, guys, it's like the pacing is disgusting. I can't with that. I can't with that show. And I wanted to like it. I wanted this to work because it's a webtoon, and I want to see more webtoons actually pop off and be good. You know, I mean, I'm glad that we're still pushing some webtoons out that we're doing right now. So I'm just hoping that they'll adapt it better than what they did with these three shows, which is God of High School, Tower of God, and Noblesse. Noblesse, in my honest opinion, was actually good in comparison to the other two. Noblesse was good, but that's because it was slower paced. But they slowed it down so you can care about the characters a bit more. You know what I mean? That's why I appreciated the show overall more so than I did with Tower of God and God of High School. Oh yeah, Ghost Stories in High School of the Dead are goated dubbed. High School of the Dead is goated dubbed? Really? Really? I've never heard this. I gotta look that up then. It's like, people actually like the dub for that? Again, people be hating on dubs all the goddamn time, you know? So I'm actually happy to see that people love the Chainsaw Man dub. I don't really see a lot of negativity on that dub. That dub is actually really good, by the way. I haven't watched all of it, but from everything that I've seen, the delivery on a lot of these lines, beautiful. Freaking beautiful. God dang. God, a mid school. Exactly. It's freaking mid at best. And people are like, oh no, that show great. I'm what are you talking about? Like I said, we are foregoing storytelling for just action. And you know what's funny about this? This isn't just an anime problem. I see this all in media as of late as well, that we are foregoing character development just so you can have some type of big grandiose moment, which might not even feel that grandiose because you didn't build up to it properly. Like, there's a lot of good fights in God of High School. Don't be wrong. This is a great example of a show that has good fights, but no meat to them. There's nothing there. There's just good animation and they're fighting each other, and it has great choreography. You know what I mean? Like, I love what they did, but it's like I can only appreciate it so much because there's nothing else there. So 11 can be. That's what I'm hoping too. I heard the show's supposed to be, or the webtoon's really good and everything like that, but I have my reservations on it simply because we already got 3, maybe 4, I think, webtoons that have come out as animes, and they all kind of bombed a little bit, unfortunately. So I'm hoping Solo Leveling can do it, and I don't know. I'm 50-50. I'm on the fence with that one, man. I mean, when watching any webtoon animation, pacing is weird. I mean, that's the thing. I will say this to give them some slack. Webtoons are not created by professionals. Not usually, right? I can be a webtoons artist, right? And my manga or webtoons can pop off, correct? And if it popped up hard enough, freaking Crunchyroll can give me a call and be like, hey, can we animate this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. That's, you gotta kind of remember that a little bit. They're not full-on professionals like Satoshi Kishimoto. There's not a lot of vetting going on here. So what's funny about it, because I did try to read some of Tower of God. I'm not gonna lie, the way the anime did it, they tried their best to condense the information. Because, like, if you try to read that, there's so much information in that series. It's disgusting. The amount of freaking writing and detail that's there. It's like, come on now. Some of the stuff's not even that important that we need to know. It's like, y'all, you're throwing too much at us for us to really appreciate what's going on with the goddamn series. Because god dang, it takes a minute. Once you get past all that and you have this full understanding, then things start to pop off like it needs to. You know what I mean? But boy, it's just like I can say that the way stuff is structured in webtoons, it might not be the easiest to try to adapt into an anime. That I'll give it that. I'll give it that. So, but that does go along the lines of your studio, though, of knowing how to adapt something. That's the thing here. Some adaptations are better than others. We just talked about Unlimited Blade Works, right? Or any of the Fate series for that matter. As good as like the animation is and as good as the shows could be, right? There's still things that are missing because like the light novel, for instance, has so much more information, so much more detail that you care about a lot of these other characters a lot more than what the anime is giving you. You know what I mean? The anime has to try to condense and do the best they can at actually trying to adapt it, but while still trying to have that information there, or at least what's important for it, then get it all together. But it's not easy. It's not easy. There's a lot of people that actually don't like how the Fate series in general is adapted. Like they love the animation, but it's just how it's adapted is not the greatest. Which again, it's hard to adapt like a light novel because there's so much more going on here, and that's like I can say that's the same thing with webtoons. What's going on with it basically? Yeah, media literacy that is an all-time high, 100%. 100%. That's what's going on here. Am I seeing an Andy? Is that the champion right now? Oh my God. I see inside my head a vision, never the outcome you be wishing for. I know the lyrics. Sorry, I gotta stop playing that. Welcome in. we just talking about older anime and why the newer generation or just fans in general are just hating on it, because I've been seeing a lot of that discourse online as of late, and just talking about a lot of different topics here at this point. Yeah, it's like that Faye is missing a good adaptation of one of the paths. Yeah, but again, it's like there's only so much that they can do when it comes to trying to adapt something like this. I mean, actually, a question for those that have maybe potentially read the light novels for ReZero, because ReZero has a light novel, right? Like I believe that's where this came from. Because there's a lot more, obviously, information that's here, but people do like that one. But I think they do take their time with that as opposed to other series. But like, how do y'all feel about that though? Is the thing here when it comes to its adaptation? Hey, there's always a questionable discourse in the anime community. 100%, Andy. I've been seeing nothing but like this discourse. The For You page on Twitter has been disgusting to me. I've been seeing a lot of dumb takes and this craziness going on here. I had to just, I had to actually explain a little bit why Gaara versus Rock Lee is like a little bit more iconic than like the Shiki fight. And like I said, the Shiki fight at the end of the day, I felt like it just doesn't have. It has the backstory because of Naruto and Sasuke. You know what I mean? I don't really know if that really. I don't think this fight really did much for Shiki like that. Like the Gaara Rock Lee fight in wrestling terms got both characters over. They got both characters over. It was a way to build upon Gaara's character and Rock Lee's character at the same time. And like I said, like for me, because this is my perspective from what I've seen, this show for Rock Lee, this fight for Rock Lee and Gaara is on the same level as like a Linkin Park to AMVs. Like people are always recommending this stuff, and even to this day, we still talk about that fight even now. Like right now, we're talking about it. It's in the running in there for iconic to begin with because it's an iconic fight. We still talk about this. The fact we're still talking about to this day now tells you the testament of how iconic the fight actually is, without the main characters in there as well. But we already talked about that. I just wanted to bring that up for you so you know where I'm coming from with some of this. But again, I'm not saying the Shiki fight is not iconic, because it is. It is in its own right. It has reasons to be on the list of iconic fights in general, because it does look great. Like the fight is great looking, and I love the callbacks that was in that fight. Momoshiki is still around right now in Barso, I think. Is that Momoshiki? See, the problem is they didn't decide on the right character design. So I don't. Is that the same guy? Because he looks different. The character designs were switched up so many times. Same thing with Sarada. Sarada's character design kept changing. It's weird. They never settled on anything here. Again, for the For You tab needs to be avoided at all costs. Look, I need to do that too, man. I need to stop messing with that at this point. Those anime accounts are out here doing too much. Yeah, they just out here baiting me at this point, and they're getting me. But you know what? They're giving me topics to talk about on Seasonal Talk. So here we are. I get stuck down for you page, and it only ends up getting me all worked up. Facts. I only get upset. I've seen too many dumb things here, and I'm just like, please, can we stop? Actually, let me look at something right now. I'm gonna go to my For You page at the moment. Let's see what we got here. Cause I know I ran into something not that long ago, actually. That was just like, I don't know how I feel about this. Or maybe I can go to my likes. Cause I did like something, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Oh, that's just a meme. All right, well, some of the stuff I'm liking in here, you ain't gonna talk about that, actually. There's some stuff in here. I mean, if you follow me, you see what I'm talking about. Oh, like, okay, here's one right here. Here's one right here that I ran into, which is interesting, which we can discuss this at the moment. Look. So these are all emotional scenes. I don't know if this is showing on the camera too well, but these are all emotional scenes. Which scene needs to be removed from this, or which one are you choosing? Basically, I think, right? Which one is this? Or removing one? Oh yeah. What is the most emotional and heartbreaking goodbye in anime and manga history? Granted, I don't know why I say manga history, because there's different scenes here in general that we can do, but yeah. All I'm gonna say is, if you saw my tweet post on there, I did reply to that and said the Going Merry got me. Like, out of all those ones there, the Going Merry is actually the one that kind of got me the most. Look, I care for that boat. It's a content, exactly, Andy, exactly. He's like Bartos. He's like, wait. He's like Bartos Karama, I think. Really? Wait, what? Wait, whoa. Excuse me? I need to go see what's going on with freaking Bartos at this point. I'm so curious what's going on here. That's not bad to do, though. It's not bad to do. Granted, that's kind of weird. Maybe that's why he has that whole thing on his head with the horn and everything. Then that might interesting. Not the Goku one, that's for sure. Exactly right. He said not the Goku one. Look, man, look, man, the Goku sacrifice. Look, he said, "I'm sorry, son, I gotta go," and then he blew up and died. He's supposed to not come back, but Toriyama could said otherwise. But we're not gonna talk about that. There's the whole Gon and Kilo one on here too. Ichigo and Rukia. Like, so the funny thing about this list right here, a lot of these characters come back. Like, they're not actually dead like that. You know what I mean? Or they'll come back at some point in time. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, Going Merry still gets to me. That one, that was impactful. That whole arc was impactful. Like, the whole fight with Usopp and freaking Luffy. Like, God, that's actually a really good fight for One Piece. One Piece don't have a lot of fights, because I don't know if I said this on stream at all. One Piece doesn't have fights like that. I want to say this right now. They have stories. They tell a lot of stories throughout their fights. That's why if you read the manga, like, the fights go by so quickly at this point, because it's not necessarily the fights that matter, but what the end goal of the fight is, and what it means of the fight. You know what I mean? Like, there's a few fights in there. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they don't got fights, because they got like the Rob Luffy fight. They got the Luffy versus Usopp. They got even what's his face? With the Mochi powers, versus against Luffy. That's a fight too. Like, Luffy usually has the main fights. Like, we don't really see a lot of fights from other people, but when we have fights, like, there's not a lot of them, but when they do, they're pretty good. Yeah. Not Going Merry. Look, I feel you on that. It stays dead. It lives on in the sunny, I guess. 100%. It lives on in the sunny. I need to actually get a Sunny figurine at this point. That's why Anna's going to tell me otherwise, to not get any more figurines, but I will love the merry-go. Like, come on. I would love to have these boats on my shelf, okay? I'm just looking for Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, I know, Andy, I know. Katakuri, thank you. I was like, why can't I remember his name? It's like the Mochi Sucker, like the Mochi fruit. I know his ability and everything. Like, I couldn't remember his name for some reason. I see. Look, I told you she's gonna tell me not to get more figurines. Look, I got a lot. I have some up there right now. I didn't put them all on my shelf yet. Like, there's so much. I got so many, but it's like the temptation. Look, I need a Chainsaw Man figure over here. Okay, come on. I digress. Overall, The point, run this all back to full circle here. I wish people could just start appreciating older anime and stop disrespecting the shows, because these are the shows that were walking for us so that the other shows now can run, you know? And they have a place, and it's worth watching as well. Appreciate where they come from, because I'm tired of people saying, like, I can't watch freaking Cowboy Bebop because animation looks bad. And I'm just sitting here like, how? Like, I know it's a 90s anime, and I know it has like this type of 90s filter basically on it, right? But it's still solid animation. Just because it's in 4:3 doesn't mean you can't enjoy it regardless. You know what I mean? It's frustrating to see when a lot of these people don't want to even touch a show if the animation isn't like on some god level. And I don't like what we're doing right now. And I just hope as anime fans and as people, when it comes to enjoying media, that you can enjoy both things. You can enjoy standard animation. You can enjoy a show even with bad animation. I will always recommend Aku no Hana to people. Like, Aku no Hana has one of the worst rotoscopings I've ever seen in my life. But you know what? That story is incredible. And it's worth watching. And sometimes the rotoscoping actually lends to the creepiness of the show. That's all I'm going to say. The show looks disgusting. I'm not going to lie. It's not good when it comes to animation. But the way they told that story, I felt that. That was a solid anime. Exchange one of the, I can't exchange them. How am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to do that, Anna? Wait, am I supposed to trade? Wait, am I supposed to trade with you? Do you want to trade or something? Wait, what we doing here? On one of the ship model kits and put it together. Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's also not a bad idea. Hold on a minute. That's a good idea. I might have to do that. I gotta see how much that is. I saw that Zenitsu figure you have, and then went to buy manga earlier, and I was so tempted. Hey, yo. Do it. Join me, Andy. Join me. I've seen it, bro. You don't understand the type of hate that I've been seeing as of late. When it comes to 4:3 anime, not even just animation. Look, it's 4:3. If it's not 16:9, where it fills up the whole screen like how my screen is, if it's not filling it up, and you got them black bars on the side, they don't want to watch it. They probably don't even watch Avatar, The Last Airbender. They don't want to touch that. I got 4:3. He said, nah, I ain't messing with this. This looks old. Like they said, 90s anime and early 2000s, I ain't touching it. And it's just like, what is happening? I've literally seen that take online, and there's people that agreed with it too. It had like over like 100, 200 like likes on it. And I was like, yo, really? And now the people talking about it, I'm like, I can't with this. I can't. That's a really cool idea for real. So I want to buy another. What the does anybody want to buy a figurine from me? Basically, then I'm not selling any of my big ones. Like I just opened my All Might. That's the first time I opened that All Might. That All Might's amazing. Okay. Gonna be crazy in 20 years from now. Demon Slayer animation is gonna be seen as trash. But yeah, exactly right. At the end of the day, as great as that looks, right? There is a problem with CG. CG always and will always look dated at some point in time. I don't know. It's weird. I've seen it where it's just like, as good as the CG blends into the show, it can still look wonky or just not good, right? Like you can see the problems with CG anime, and I don't like that. It sucks, but that's what CG anime happens. It's too perfect, so when it gets older and we get better technology, that stuff is gonna look worse. You know what I mean? It's like watching some of the older Marvel movies, and you can see like the evolution of when it comes to their CG animation and how, though it was acceptable at that time, and it still don't look bad technically, but you can see the difference. You know what I mean? Like it's still there. People can throw themselves in the trash. Some people say Yu Hakusho needs a remake for it to have better animation. No, look. I don't want that show to be touched anymore. Look, I'll say this. I wouldn't hate if they redid it. If they follow the entire train of what the original did. Don't even change anything. Just update the animation. Don't change nothing else about it. Because, like, even some of the filler scenes that's in there, I enjoy. Like, this show has an amazing freaking dub. One of the best that we've had. I think most of the people are still around to be able to reprise their role, so that wouldn't be a problem necessarily because they did redub it, I believe, right? I don't I don't necessarily mind them doing remakes so long as they're not trying to change it up. Like, as much as I like the Trigun Stampede, I wouldn't want to see that happen to Yu Yu Hakusho. That would upset me. I would not watch it. I would like, no, get that crap out of here. Because like the thing is, the original is just that good. It's just that good. It's like freaking a good example actually is Dragon Ball Z. The original Dragon Ball Z is pretty freaking good and goated in a way that those fillers really filled out certain detail that the Dragon Ball Z Kai just doesn't have. And Dragon Ball Z Kai just feels like more of a rush-paced type of show. If I watched Dragon Ball Z Kai growing up, I wouldn't have liked that show as much as I did. I'll be honest with you. Because some of the filler within the original Dragon Ball Z was actually necessary, I felt. Like, it made sense and gave us a lot of character growth as opposed to nothing, the one that had no filler in it. I don't necessarily want to see that, is my thing here. Yeah, I wouldn't be against it, but I don't think it needs it. Yeah, it really doesn't need it, though. That's honestly my opinion, too. Like, it really doesn't need it. Marvel's new CG is pretty bad at times. I feel like it's used... I agree. Like, going to She-Hulk, like, her CG is literally weird to me, and it's not even consistent animation, too. It's not consistent CG. She looks different at times, and it's weird how they decided to do that. I mean, you could even say the same thing for, like, Black Panther, because there's a scene in the original Black Panther that kind of looked... That CG fight would look kind of bad. Like if you go back to look at it, it's like, God, it wasn't even that long ago. Can't wait for you to show remake only for all the arcs to be rushed. Yeah. This man's talking about Shaman Kings. You remember that remake? I don't like that remake for Shaman Kings. I don't know how it got another season, but like that remake for Shaman Kings, everything's fast as heck. I was sitting here like I cannot digest what's going on with the show. And it's funny too. What's that guy's name? It's the football dude. It's the football dude. Like that guy supposedly died one episode. Literally the next episode, he's just back up. No explanation. Me and Ace died off of that because it's like we're like, wait, huh? He's just back up. It's like I can't. Like the Shaman King that remake was bad, bro. I didn't like it. I just didn't like the pacing. Again, we keep foregoing storytelling for just fast pacing, and I don't understand. How can we like this, guys? Oh, if anything, like Hunter x Hunter remake, then would be good. Facts. Hunter x Hunter remake 2011 is perfection. They don't need to do anything more than that. All right. Yeah, I'm glad we got 2011, 2023. I mean, look. It can be even better animation. Watch out, bro. Watch out. Another anime that needs a good remake is Soul Eater. Bro. Yes. We talking the same language right now, bro. We talking the same language right now. 100% what you're saying here. I totally agree on that. That ending disappointed the crap out of me. I was like, Maka, really? And he's like, all of a sudden you can just handle, like Death himself couldn't handle that guy, and all of a sudden you can by yourself? No explanation? I was like, what? We need a remake. We need a remake and actually follow the manga. All right, it's the power of it. I couldn't. The show was so good until that point. I love me some Soul Eater, right? I was like, yeah, freaking Black Star's theme music, bro. Man, don't get me started. I love. Come on now. But it needs a remake, 100%. It actually really needs it. It's not even like a joke. Like this legit needs a remake. Then made me scream in my college cafeteria. I was so mad. I don't know. I just hated it. See, this one, it goes back to that whole topic we had before where it's like a show could be so good, but then the ending be so bad. And it's like, you can't even enjoy the show anymore and you can't recommend it now. Because I can't recommend Soul Eater. Like, I love the show. Don't get me wrong. And I love the characters. But that ending was just actually bad. It's like, I don't understand why they went this route with it. I've seen anime-only endings and it works sometimes. Great example of this is Fullmetal Alchemist, the original. That thing was a lot of anime-only type of stuff going on there. Or another one, actually, Aoi no Exorcist, Blue Exorcist. That ending wasn't even that bad. I actually enjoyed it for the most part. The ending wasn't bad for that show. But it's like, there's a lot of hit or misses, all right? And that was a big miss at the end of the day. If we get a remake, yeah, facts. Look, Paper Moon is a go to opening, all right? Paper Moon is a go to opening. Also, actually, I just remembered. I just said Blue Exorcist, but Blue Exorcist is actually getting a remake. How the heck how did Blue Exorcist get a remake before Soul Eater, actually? Now I'm thinking, what? Because we had that Soul Eater Not or something like that. That show was trash, but I digress. Like, we need to go back to the drawing board and fix this, okay? But we need to just also, at the end of the day, enjoy anime for what it is. Enjoy the old and the new. Appreciate the old and appreciate the new. There's a room for both. Get past the lens of you having this freaking 3D solid animation and look at this 2D animation. Like, you can watch a 2D animated series. You know, it's possible. If you can watch Spirited Away, if you can watch any Hayao Miyazaki film, you can watch an old anime. You can do it. I believe in you. Just for all the ones that actually don't watch those shows. If you're watching this right now, I believe in you. Watch an older anime. You will be surprised of how good the show is. There's a show I want to recommend to you guys. It's an older anime. It doesn't have the greatest animation, but it's solid. It's solid for its time. It's called S Cried. That show is really good, and it has an amazing ending. The ending is one of the best endings I've seen when it comes to an anime. It's really freaking good. I like the show and its lead up into that ending. It did a fantastic job. If you haven't seen that show, watch S Cried. I feel like you'll enjoy it. Got a dip. All right, I'm about to leave here myself, actually, because I got some food cooking. So I got to go check on that and see what's going on with it and everything like that. So, yeah. I feel like once Fire Force finishes the anime, there's a chance we could get a Soul Eater remake. I hope so. I hope you're right on that, man. I hope you're right on that, because we really need one. But with that said, if you watched the entirety of this stream here, thank you for being here. You guys are MVPs. Round of applause to all y'all. This is an hour and 30, almost 30 minutes. Hour and 30 minutes in here. But appreciate you guys coming through and talking to me and having a good time. You know, we always have good times here when it comes to seasonal talk. We will be back here next week as usual, talking about the next week of anime, and we'll have another topic out, obviously, to talk about, because Twitter is gonna keep feeling the fire for me. Also, there won't be a Chainsaw Man Tuesday stream because Chainsaw Man is gonna be on break yet again, but that's okay, because this week we have something very, very special in mind that's going to be happening over on the Twitch channel, /Thabreakmaster, twitch.tv/Thabreakmaster. Go over there. It's going to happen Wednesday. It's going to happen on Wednesday. We're going to have a very special stream. It's going to be very interesting. A special guest even is going to be involved in this. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. It's on the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. That's the day that when I'll be streaming over there. But obviously, I do stream Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday over onto the Twitch channel. So make sure you're always following over there as well. Like this video as well, if you could. It helps with the algorithm, be able to push this stuff out and for people to actually see this, so I can actually have more arguments with people in the comment section below. And if you've seen this entire thing, leave in the comment section, old man. Put in the comment section, old man. There it is. There it is. I'm going to be mad, but you know what? Put old man in the comment section. That's good. Yeah, we did, man. We did. Appreciate y'all. All right, let me get out of here. Drink goddamn water, take goddamn vitamins, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, people, break out though.